Thank you for sharing your experience. I think a lot of women have always struggled to share the experience of sexual harassment in particular, or any harassment of any sort. And recently there has been the Me Too movement, and actually in the legal profession there's been the movement behind the gown. What are your views and how important do you think it is for women to speak up about their experiences?
Well, I was invited to, and I did speak at the launch at Behind the Gown, because I think if senior members of the bar don't put themselves up there on the platform, it makes it very hard for junior members to say anything. It's vital that what we do is recognise that sexual harassment is a form of power and control. And it doesn't have to be sexual harassment, it can be bullying, it can be intimidation. And we need to be honest at the bar that what we can do is sometimes attract the personalities who forget what it's like to be junior, who want to be obeyed and to be obeyed instantly, and can abuse the power dynamics there are by being senior or by being male. And I'm not saying that there's a niche area where one particular set or one particular area of practice is more riven with sexual harassment. But as a young barrister going into the criminal world, it was an enormously stressful experience because of the degree of sexual harassment you'd have to put up with when you went down to the cells. You know, by the police that were manning them. Times have now changed. By the prisoners that you'd be walked past, who'd make comments about your looks, which demeans what you're then doing when you're trying to talk to your client in the cells. You go up and you'd have a non-existent robing room, because the only robing there was where men was in it. It was labelled a male robing room. There was no space for a woman to be admitted. Now that is moving along, but that's part of a history of the bar of which we should not be proud. So I think the Me Too movement has been, again, one of those examples where sunlight is the best disinfectant. If we are prepared to talk honestly about some of the things that go wrong, then we have the opportunity of addressing them, putting them right, because we give women and men who've been the victims in their view of such behaviour the opportunity to say, it's happened to me, it shouldn't be happening again. The worst thing possible is, now that the issue's been raised as part of the Me Too movement, that we say it doesn't have any part to play in our profession, because I simply do not think there is any profession that can say they are immune from power dynamics, of which sexual harassment or intimidation or abuse of power is a component.